making sure that the live shows up on the Facebook group page. And yes, it does. So welcome everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are. Welcome to Facebook Live on the Eckhart Tolle Know Thyself Revolution group page. It is the 26th of June, year 2024. And I think before we start, it's going to be Independence Day next week. So happy Independence Day to everyone. And let me get started on who all is here. We have April, who's part of our panel. April is a psychic, a medium, and has quite a few modalities of healing under her. Good evening, April. Thank you so much for joining. Then we have Patricia here, who is part of our core group of meditators. And Sri Lakshmi and Lakshmi have joined as well. And Dave has joined us online as well. So eternally grateful to all of you for joining. Did you want to start on the conversation that you were having, or do we want to, do you want me to ask you a question, April?
So the thing we were talking about is probably a good thing. And then we can do a question. So I've mentioned it, I don't know if I've mentioned it live, but you guys are aware I've had an issue with my upper teeth for at least, it's many years, but at least the last 3 years. And then the last year it became extremely serious, where I continued to go back to dentists, oral surgeons, and to dentists. And I just kept telling them something's wrong. And I couldn't get anybody to listen. They just all kept saying, "We don't see anything, ma'am." And I'm like, "Nope, there's something wrong. It hurts. I can taste it. It doesn't feel good." And I finally referred myself to a periodontist specialist. And I get in there. Of course, they do like the CAT scan, X-ray. Same thing happens. He's like, "I don't really see anything." And I just looked at him and I said, "You know, this is going to kill me. I don't feel good. Something is wrong. Somebody has to listen." And he kind of stopped. And I think that he had like this inner voice or this inner knowing or some sort of connection, because he stopped and he just kind of stared for a second. And then he looks at me and he says, "Did you get bone grafts with the teeth that you had?" And I said, "Yes, I have 3 bone grafts." And he said, "I think your bone grafts are infected." And then he had me open my mouth, and there's this little spot, which I can still feel that spot. I mean, it's closed up, but he said, "Did you eat something sharp?" And I said, "No, there's no teeth up there. I'm not eating on that side." And he said, "Well, your body has made a drain hole for the infection. And if it hadn't done that, your face would have swelled up out to here and you'd become septic. You would have died." So my body created its own drain hole for the infection, because I kept telling them I can taste it. And so that is the body doing its thing. That's its body trying to be its own medicine, its own cure, right? So I mean, it wasn't comfortable or fun for me, but it's amazing. So he ended up doing the surgery again, and the bone grafts were infected, in fact. But the problem was is that the gums had healed over the infection, so nobody could see it. So it's fixed now, finally. Yeah. So that's my story.
So you no longer are in pain?
No, it's finally fixed. The problem is fixed. It was the bone graft. We're infected.
Wow. So what was your lesson, or are you in a position to share the lesson? Why did all this happen?
You know, I'm not really sure exactly why it all happened still. I mean, I know for that area of the body, it's actually linked to the small intestine. And because I went and had some full body acupuncture done trying to fix the problem. And that area is linked to the small intestine, which is linked to the spleen, which then routes itself back around to things like anger or depression or holding things in, all that kind of stuff, right? So, with me and like my life situation and having so many kids and everybody has some sort of issue in some way, right? There's a lot going on. I mean, I have the 5 girls, the niece, 12 grandkids, everybody's got something, right? And I am at the top of the family because everybody else has passed away. So it's not like I take on their problems, but I'm around it. So we're talking about energy and like Joe Dispenza and his healing and his research, and like Jesus laying the hands on people. And I had told you guys that I'm taking actually I'm about to finish it, a course in Zainan Qigong healing. And the reason that Jesus could do that and do it so well is because he himself was in a healing space. His body and his energy was in a line, and that healed energy, that in a line energy then radiates out. So like when Joe Dispenza does his healings, or he's having you align yourself. You're getting in a line. That in itself is the healing, right? So it's the same thing with me, because there's so many people. There are times where I must be getting out of alignment and not catching it. But if I really want healing, I have to put myself in a line first. So healers actually are in a line, and then they can put you in the same, it's like putting you in that energy. They're not actually healing you, but they're helping you to get back in a line so you actually heal yourself. Because Joe Dispenza doesn't heal anybody. He teaches you how to heal yourself. Right? So yeah. So that's my story.
I feel so. We are talking about the movie Source that everybody has watched. So Patricia was asking April a question. What I feel like my experience is, April and everyone else, is what Dr. Joe Dispenza does is he has like 1,500 to 2,000 people in a ballroom, right? So he knows how to, like, it's a crescendo. Like day one will start with getting into your heart. He'll try to open your heart. It'll be like the blessings of the energy center through the heart. Like I remember, I think my first meditation as on the week long was blessings of the energy from the heart, which we've done during group meditation. So it's like a very hard, then the walking meditation on day one or day two, then he'll explain the science of it, right? Over and over and over again, that what we were living in, just like the movie, that we were living in stress, we were doing the same thing over and over again. You know, in the movie they show that the person wakes up, the alarm rings, the coffee machine, the alarm rings, the coffee machine, the repetitiveness of our actions, right? He constantly shows the repetitiveness of our actions. So like in the week long one, we are away if we have like at least I commuted, so I was coming back in the evening to my home, but most people are in the hotel that is around the ballroom, right, in around the conference center. So they are outside of their environment, their normal home environment. And so now he has these subjects, right? 1,500, 2,000 people, and he's experimenting, like raising their vibrational energy. And that's how he, like, we can feel the rhythm, right? So we have three coherence healings. I think there's one on Thursday-ish, or it's from, I think from Saturday till Saturday, or Saturday, something like that, Sunday till Saturday, 7 days or something like that. And so like Thursday is the first coherence healing, and not very much people cannot feel the coherence healing the first day, but the second and the third day, the very last day he does very last coherence healing, you will actually see the healers yell. Like they will feel their hearts open to such, like the heart bursts open to such an extent that you'll hear everybody in the room like screaming their head off, right? It's that powerful on the last day, the coherence healing. And that's why, you know, the person that had cancer, he probably, I think it was like the second or the third healing that he actually, that's why the second healing is more important, because first healing, these people are just getting in sync, like they're new and it's a new thing, and it's very not very familiar to them. So I'm going to ask you a question that was posed to Eckhart, April, during the conscious manifestation course. And this person said that they would like to manifest something, but a lot of ideas keep coming to them. Like they get an idea, then they probably don't work on it, and then they next day they get another idea. So they're constantly getting into ideas and never knowing what to do or how to do it, right? Like what to do, what are they trying to consciously manifest? So what is the best method for a human being to actually figure out what should they be consciously manifesting?
Yeah.
Or
Well,
how
the
do
mind
they,
does that. Yeah, the mind does that
and
too, where it has so many ideas.
actually before you answer the question, I also wanted to say, even I feel that the sign in your the whatever pain you had in your bone graft and everything is the sign that you need to withdraw attention from. Your energy is flowing too much into your grandkids, and you don't like I love the term that Carolyn Mays uses. She says energy is leaking.
Mhm.
So the universe is telling you to take your energy back and actually pay it. You took 2 years, right? You were in pain for 2 years, weren't you? You had that
So
issue.
it was an issue with 3 different teeth, and it was the dentist they couldn't find, they kept telling me there was nothing there, and I'm like, nope, there's something there. And then
But you still didn't go to
finally,
you still didn't go to an orthopedic because you had too much going on with your kids.
no, I did. I went to 4 dentists, 2 oral surgeons, and an endodontist. I kept going, and they all kept telling me the same, that it was in my head.
Even the first one, like
Yes,
first time 2 years
they
back.
all, yes, they all kept telling me it was in my head. So part of the lesson was to like listen to my body and say, no, something is wrong. Yeah, no, I kept going, kept going, kept going. I seen 4 different dentists throughout, and they all, we don't see anything, ma'am. I'm like, oh, there's something there. Yeah.
April,
Yeah.
was there a connection with that pain you had in your neck? Remember you had like,
No, the neck thing is completely different. The neck thing is, I had 2 really bad car accidents, exact same car accidents, like 20 years apart, exact same car accident. That's
so
what that
someone
is.
hit you from the back?
Exact same. I was sitting at a light and some teenager come flying up and hit me. The exact same accident, 20 years apart. Yeah. So my neck is something completely different. Yeah, the teeth are related to it's an old thing. It's actually, I got 3 cortisone shots, like, I don't know, 7, 8 years ago, and they don't tell you that those eat the bone, the calcium out of your body. and I ended up with 3 teeth going bad. Got them fixed, and then 3 years ago they all started acting up again. So it's it is related to stress in my life. But I kept going back to them. So wasn't I was just the crazy lady. It was in my head. But anyways, so the question, as far as the question goes, the brain can do that. The brain can jump from thing to thing to thing. So one part of this could be the brain. It's just kind of like anxiety or racing thoughts, having many ideas. But the thing to do is to find out what you're passionate for, what your passion is. That's one of the first things I would do to try to narrow down what they would like to do. What is it that gives you passion? And passion, the joy, the peace, the feeling of bliss, those are all the things that let you know that you have found something that you really enjoy. And then that's where I would follow that, whatever that is. To consciously manifest, I think we talked about this last time too, consciously manifest. It has to be, and we did talk about this, it has to come from your passion and your joy, not from ego that I need to have this, I have to have this, or I'm trying to prove something, or I'm trying to just have more money. Because if you find something you love and that you're passionate about, usually things just work out. They fall in place because the universe is behind you. Your soul is behind you because it is linked to your purpose. It's linked to your joy. So the other thing is, when you do find something that you are passionate about, the mind will bring up doubts or say, oh, well, maybe I should do this instead. And it is your task then to focus the mind and to say, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to focus on this one. Kind of like taking a course. You could take 5 courses, or you should say, okay, I'm just going to take this one course right now and focus on this one. So did they say like kind of what they were manifesting, or did they just say they just
No, the
manifest?
question was, they just had different, every day they would come up with a different creative idea of what they should be doing in their life. But they did still, it almost is like having attention disorder. Like you're going, oh,
Yeah,
let me do
AD,
this. Let me
ADHD
do
or ADD,
this.
yeah.
After 2 days go, no, I want to be a coach, a life coach. After 2 days go, oh, no, I want to be a health coach, right? Or after 2 days later, you go, no, I think I want to be this. But still, they're not doing anything. It almost says, I feel, when somebody does that, April, I almost feel like their ego is preventing them from taking a step forward. Like the ego keeps their mind so busy with what they could be doing. And that could be linked to like a deep-rooted limiting belief of fear. Fear of success.
Sure. Could be. I did think of ADD or ADHD when you said that. It's very similar to have random, many numerous random thoughts and to jump from thing to thing to thing. ADHD or ADD it's not actually the ability to not pay attention. It is that instead of having 2 or 3 tabs open on the computer, they have 20 open.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They need that, they need the stimulation of 50 things going on at the same time. Because I
Yeah.
have a coworker, every time I ask him, hey, how's it going? He'd go, oh, I have this problem and this problem and this problem. I finally told him every day, all the time, whenever I ask you, you always have problems. But their mind wants to create something that is going, like they need to pay attention to, right? That they need to do this and this and this and this. Oh, my life is full of this. Instead of
Right.
like this present moment, right?
Yeah.
So,
Mhm. Yep.
so what do you think? Like if they say, oh, I don't know what my passion is, what would you say to that?
Well, there's some people that don't. One, because maybe they go down the wrong path, or I mean, there's not really a wrong path, but or they are listening to other people instead of listening to themselves. Like, I don't know, my mom said that I have to be a baker, so I'm going to be a baker, but they don't really want to be a baker, that kind of thing. So there is a space where they may need to get to know themselves. And what I will do with people is start at the very bottom, and it may sound really silly, but what color do you like? What is your favorite color? What kind of food do you like? What kind of movies do you like? Like, just really get to know yourself. What is your kind of music? Just silly things. Do you like busy places or relaxed places? What kind of art do you like? Because most people don't really know themselves. We're either busy working and doing what everybody else wants us to do, or we're busy taking care of other people and we don't know ourselves. So that would be the first thing. And whatever it is, the passion, when you find your passion, it gives you joy. It is something that you could do for free. You could do it for free. Not that you should do it for free, but you could do it for free. You love it so much. It gives you peace. It gives you that calmness, that serenity. And you could just do it because you love to do it. It creates also a joy and excitement inside. There's a love for it. That's a passion. When I am doing, readings or healings, it is so much fun for me. It's so fun for me. I do charge because that's the way our society is set up currently. I have to make a living, but it is just so fun. And for the rest of the day, I'm in that fun space. I'm in that blissful energy because it is just so fun for me. So you have to find what gives you that energy, that spark, that funness.
Beautiful. Thank you so much, April. Always grateful. Incredibly amazing. One of the things that like under the mastermind community, I don't know if she was part of the mastermind community. I even forget her name. There's a person that now is doing like $1 million business, but she started off with her she was working for Target, and then Target in the corporate office. And then she started a wedding photography. She learned photography and started this wedding photography business, right? Out of the wedding photography business, she started doing what Dean Graziosi and Tony Robbins and Brendan Burchard teach, which is offering courses on how to do photography. But she said she had like 2 or 3 different areas in which she was interested. So on her social media, she would post about all the 3 things. Finally, now, no longer does she do the wedding photography, she actually does marketing, women in business marketing. That's what she teaches. So I feel like constantly there's an evolution of what we should be doing. We may not have a single path, right? So try something, dabble in something. If you are not successful or you don't feel that that is your passion, you can always leave it, but make a step forward and do it. Right? Don't let your ego keep you in this loop of, oh, what should I do? What should I do? That becomes like an infinite loop, right? Constantly, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? Instead of that, like at least dabble in something. And then
That's Poonam, that's the third time I've heard that message in a week.
oh wow.
That's the third time I've heard, just do it. Just do it. I can't just sit here. I got to just do something. Same kind of message.
And you got it for you?
I was talking to a friend and they were talking about their own business and they were like, you know, I have these skills and I have these abilities and I can just sit on them or I can just do something and just do it. Yeah. So
So I
in a
guess they need to
roundabout
do it.
way, it's the same message
Same
that's
message.
come back. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Lakshmi, since today you're on, did you want to share something about that? What if somebody does not know what they need to do and how would they consciously manifest?
I guess April answered, and you also answered all the questions that. I think just being aware of your thoughts and staying rooted in the present moment, and then visualization and all the ones that Joe Dispenza teaches is the best way to attract consciously, is to imagine that everything is already there and to generate that gratitude in your heart, that you already have it. So yeah, that's all I can say, not much.
Do you have any examples of what you generated gratitude and mentally rehearsed and it manifested? Thank you.
I have to think about, because there have been nothing big, but there have been many small things over the years, like wanting some money and somebody would just give a check to, and write it and give a check kind of things. And yeah, I really cannot think right now, but so many things have happened over the past decade that just blew my mind as to how we can manifest. Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for sharing, Lakshmi. Patricia, did you have more questions about that?
Oh, did I have more questions? Yes, I'm the one that keeps, I think I'm still looking for that passion. I don't know if I'm looking for something big and then just missing the little things that I'm passionate about. But I have a feeling that it's somewhere when you forget about time, or like April said, it doesn't seem like work. So, you know, when I grew up, you were supposed to learn something that is difficult and then master it. And then would be, you good because you mastered something difficult. But then I heard that people forget that they're born with natural talents and they need to go after what comes easy to them and just be better with what they're already good at, instead of trying to teach themselves something that they're stuck at. You know what I'm saying? And I see it also in business a lot. You're just trying to like it's stress out and it's supposed to be tough, and you put so much effort into something because then if you accomplish it, you feel like you done something, because, but if something is easy, they, you know, like this, what is it called? This, the word is just, dismissive.
That you're not worthy enough, that you're not worthy enough. If it is
Yeah.
easy, then you're not worthy enough, right? Your sense of worth is tied into how difficult the task is.
Exactly, though, this is what I'm noticing sometimes. There, if there is something easy that comes easy to me, I almost feel like that cannot be it. That where my worth is, because, you know, if it's easy, it's probably easy for everybody else. But then I notice it's not. Like, I can see things. I just have to trust that what I see through my eyes is that unique perspective on it. And I need to understand that that's not what the rest of the world sees. So my gift might be sharing that point of view, because it might add, or it might actually solve an issue that no one else see. Because I have this very specific, like, I think it was also one of the Tony Robbins events, that some of his guests, or maybe mastermind, talking about the glasses. Each one of us has a very specific prescription glasses that we see through. And sometimes trying to have other people see it our way, it's waste of time, because they will never do. We just have to go what we see and just trust it, that it was meant like this. And if it's easy, that's, see, exactly, easy, it's not really necessarily bad thing. But somehow our society, with the efforts and stuff, puts more attention of difficult things and challenging things and overcoming stuff, rather than just, wow, but go with the flow, because that's where the universe is kind of naturally putting you, because that's where, I don't know, what do you think? Is this, that makes sense? Because I still don't know. I mean, what comes easy to me? Certain proportions in math, where it comes is understanding a perspective. That's why I loved painting landscapes, because I liked, making things on the painting 3D on a flat surface, making it like you would feel like you entering the actual 3D world into the painting. That was how I seen the world. And in business is kind of setting procedures. I like, okay, set something up and teach someone. Like, I learned something and then teach it to someone to make it into a workable process, when everybody can just flow, and some design of the way to approach it, instead of keep reinventing the same wheel and just dealing with the issue. Just like, think differently, see it differently, try something new, maybe. But I don't know. But that's nothing concrete. Like, I can't base my own business on it. I also love cooking with medical medium stuff. It's just, it brings me so much joy.
Painting is a business in itself. Painting is a business in itself. Teaching people how to create new programs is a business itself. But my thing is so you were talking and you were like going along and you were doing great and you were like, my passion here and this and it's so easy for me. And then you were like, I don't know. What was that? What was that? Because you were like doing so great and you were like, I can do this and I can see things in a different way, and everybody has their own lenses. And then you were like, I don't know.
Right. It's that the
So,
doubt that it doesn't provide any worth, because
think-
in order,
I
it has
think
to bring a value.
I think what it is, Patricia, that you think your job is your purpose. It is not. Your job
Yeah.
is not your life's purpose.
trying
And that
to
is what I
see-
would tell all these people that are doing a job. So I'll tell you my story, and it would be your story too, where, okay, I've told quite a few times, my mom was very, very poor. We were in like a 1 bedroom house that we didn't even have a kitchen. She would put like a wooden table and put like kerosene stoves. We had to like no blender. We would have stones, like, you know, you had to grind in a stone. Like if you had to wet grind, there was no blender. We had no TV. We just had a small radio, right? That poor. And the only way I knew was to be educated. When I was in 12th grade, which is intermediate in India, we have to make a decision whether we have to take biology, physics, and chemistry, or math, physics, and chemistry. I wanted to take biology, physics, and chemistry because I wanted to be a doctor. My mom, because she was poor, she said, no, you're going to take math, physics, and chemistry because the textbooks that my brother had already taken math, physics, and chemistry. You can reuse the textbooks and I won't have to. This is how the universe puts you in a path. It forces you into doing something, but that is not my purpose. The reason why it made me do that, now I'll connect the dots. Because I did math, physics, and chemistry, the best path when you take math, physics, and chemistry is to be an engineer, right? So I took the engineering entrance exam. I got a seat in an engineering college. That is where I met my ex-husband. That is where I met the person that inspired me to come to the US. He had a passion to come to the US, right? Because of him, I'm in the US. So see how the universe, my mom, like when in 12th grade, when my mom said, no, you're going to do, I mean, not even 12th, in 10th grade, is when you have to make the selection. You're doing math, physics, and chemistry, or biology, physics, and chemistry. But in 10th grade, when she told me that, I was like so upset with her because I was so passionate about being a healer and a doctor. Right? So, but why did the universe already knew. So, but that is all creating by default, like your ex-husband getting you here to the US, all that is creation by default, right? But there is a main purpose of your soul. That's what April is saying. What did April say in the beginning? That each of us have a certain seed, right? We have to go inwards to find what that seed is. And what I was saying is try a few things. Like if you think painting is your seed, then do the painting. Focus your attention instead of
I
saying,
tried it. It didn't go anywhere.
no, you didn't try it because half your day on the weekend goes, how much time do you,
When I first came to United States, I was living with my mother-in-law and we started business together. She actually put the money and as a partnership. So she had photographs, beautiful photographs. That was her passion, her hobby. And then I was painting those photographs on wooden boxes or like treasure chests, and then started to paint also canvases because people asked me if I do those scenes on paintings. And I was able to use perspective and math to calculate the same view that goes, let's say, on the rectangle, to put it on the square, to put it on the oval, to keep the same feel for the view, but on the different shapes of boxes, from the tiny, teeny ring boxes to the canvases, that go big on the wall. And I love doing it. And I was doing it until my kid was like 4 or 5 years old, because I was able to be home, paint when she was sleeping or when, she was just playing. And I would do that. And then we go to craft shows and art shows with our booth. We had a tent and we would sell them. But the economy, kind of was not conducive for both of us to be able to make money off of it. So she had to go to work in the medical office. And then we left. I had to follow my husband. He got a different job here. So we kind of got separated. Plus, we were arguing a lot. There was a lot of ego involvement into stuff. So it just didn't work out. But I tried it.
But your ego, they may be, go ahead, April, you give advice.
Well, yeah. So your ego or yourself or your higher self, your self-esteem was in a completely different space. And the people around you were completely different than they are now. And you're saying you love painting, so you could do it on the side. You could sell paintings at a show. You could make other types of connections. But the skill, you're talking about an actual skill of being able to take something from a triangle to an oval to a square. That is 100% marketable. That's a skill that seriously, you do not want to see me paint. That is one thing you do not want to see me do, right? My daughter has the same ability. I was going to go get it. There's a little painting over there.
I know,
was
you
showing.
showed it, yeah.
I'll grab this. Let me grab this real quick.
Yes.
So you should try, because it gives you
No.
joy. Go ahead, April,
My
sorry.
daughter is a complete artist, and she was showing me how to paint one day. And she got mad and ended up stopping because I was actually trying to video her doing this. And I am telling you, you do not want me to draw or paint because you are going to get a stick figure that is sideways and upside down. Not going to happen.
You do
No,
Picasso.
God, it is no. Like, so she actually taught me how to make this, and it's not completed because she got upset because I was videoing her, but she was actually showing me how to do this. That is a skill.
So simple, but it's beautiful colors.
It is not simple. And without her, I could have never done it. So I saved it. It's not completed. She actually had more stuff over here and here, but she got upset with me. This was like, I don't know, 3-4 years ago. I saved it. But what I'm saying is, Patricia, what you have is an actual skill. You're in a completely different space. And my daughter could teach people how to paint. She could teach how to do this. People love to learn how to paint. And even if an economy or a market is bad, people still like to do things like that. They still like to have time to learn things, to take a course, maybe a cooking course or a painting course. You're in a completely different space now than you were. And but your problem is like I said, and many people do this, and I've done this too. It's like imposter syndrome, where you were going along in your conversation and then you just stopped. But your thought was, your limiting belief was, it's not worth anything. It has no value. It has tremendous value. I swear to you, you don't want to see me draw. You just don't. I can heal you. Let me tap into your energy. But you do not want to see me draw or paint anything. It is very sad. It's very sad. It's about the belief in yourself. We all have imposter syndrome to some extent, and especially each time we're about to level up or we're about to make a change, that imposter syndrome does come in. So there's a 3-day process that I've heard several teachers talk about out there, that the first day is you get the idea or you get the inspiration, right? The second day is you get all the doubts. all the reasons why you should not do it, or how it's not going to work, or how much money it's going to cost. And then, but if you can stick with it through the third day, now this is a metaphor. So your first day may be a week, or your first day may be 2 weeks, and your second day, maybe that lasts a week. But it's the first day you get the idea, the second day you get all the doubts and all the reasons why you shouldn't. If you can make it to the third day, now you're on to something. The third day is, I do want to do this. This is what I want to do. I can do it. It's going to happen somehow. The universe hears this. And when Dr. Joe, remember, he's going into the future where this has already happened. And the key is, he said, he's pulling that part of him back to him in the present. He's pulling that manifested thing, person, energy, place back to him. He said, I kept pulling it back and I kept pulling it back. And then magically I have a flight.
So it becomes a memory of the future. So your body just has to match it because it's a memory.
You're bringing that manifested energy into your heart and holding that space of just knowing the universe and yourself hears you. And it's bringing that manifested energy back into your heart space. And then you just trust. He went to bed and he magically has a flight that's earlier that day. Right? So the doubt, that's the one that, see, you were going along in that conversation, that's day one. And then you had the doubt, that's day two. You got to get to day three, which is like, yeah, you know what? I want to paint, or I at least want to teach people to, maybe I'll teach people to paint. Maybe I'll do that. Like, okay.
Yeah, I decorated my other company with meaningful words that, you know, I wanted to bring the energy. And I hang it around the office, and the boss allowed me to do it. I painted their core values and the mission statement on the walls. That's what when he hired me, he's like, you know what? I know you're an artist. I want you to put our mission, create a mission statement and put it on our big wall in the conference room. I made it happen. But I just don't understand, if that's what I'm called to do, I do it, and then it's not worth anything because I'm being let go of. It's like, I don't know what's actually worth anything because it doesn't.
Your art has nothing to do with why you were let go. Patricia, the art has nothing to do with that. The art is not the reason you were let go.
Yeah, I know.
You're
but
leaking. You're saying, oh, I did all of these things for them and then they let me go. But your art doesn't have anything to do with that. He just noticed that you were an artist and thought, okay, we'll let her do this, but that's not the reason that you were let go.
Exactly. So I'm confused because almost like right now I don't want to do anything because whatever I do, it's not gonna stick.
So through him, the universe is reminding you of your skill, Patricia. It has nothing to do with that they need to recognize you. You are attaching again, remember, always remember, being in the present moment is to derive, to so selflessly give. Make your action a selfless
and
sacrifice.
it brought me so much joy.
And so why do you have an attachment and you're crying?
But
why do you have such an attachment to the outcome? You have an attachment. You're saying I don't have an attachment to the outcome, but your tears and your emotional outburst is showing an attachment. You are expecting that because you did those beautiful things, people should love you. You're asking for approval.
No, it's not about that. It's just it brought me joy. So
okay, then it's over. That once it brought you joy, you gave it up. You did it joyfully. I've done so much for my past companies. I've done such beautiful PowerPoint presentations. I've done this thing, but when time comes, we are on a spreadsheet. The company, we are not like somebody that needs to be there. they can let us go, they let us go. That's this thing. But the universe is just telling you, you need to go somewhere else and serve your karmic account with those souls is over. Now you need to serve wherever you're serving right now. And if wherever you're serving right now is frustrating you, then that means that is not your ultimate destination.
I actually love it, but again, I created mission statement. I created core values. I'm doing similar things to just develop the business and take it to the next level on many different, levels, from regulatory to sales process to HR. I mean, like, in so many levels, but I almost like.
But that still is not your purpose. That's
What
still
is my purpose then? That's a question of today's this thing. Like,
that still
What
is
is
not
your passion? What is your passion?
if your passion is painting, that is
And
a
that's
skill
what
that
your
you have.
purpose.
Just like Vidya's passion is dancing, even
But
though
like Poonam is saying, it doesn't necessarily mean that that's your job, because look at Dolores Cannon. Dolores Cannon had to wait until she was very older. Her husband had passed away, the children were grown, and then her purpose came. It wasn't until way later. But your passion is always what gives you joy, love, peace, happiness. It's always that. And if that's painting, then that's you. But it doesn't mean it's your job. It doesn't mean you're going to make money from it. You could go teach that for free to little kids. That could be your purpose.
you could teach it to adults. You could teach
You
it
could
to
teach it to
people.
adults.
You could
You
teach
could
it
go to
people.
elderly homes
Exactly.
and teach it
I was
there.
about to say that. Pick up the idea. Exactly. Go to elderly homes where people are lonely and
Mhm.
they need something. What an amazing, incredible opportunity that is, that there's these old people that are lonely, and here they're doing some painting that is giving them joy because you're showing them how to paint and they're learning how to be creative.
I don't know. I don't think I'm a teacher. I don't think I can teach, because I try to teach my daughter and we argue. Right now, she's better artist than I am, but she doesn't think it's because I taught her, because
We can never
fought
teach our children. We can never
Yeah.
teach our children. I could never teach my son how to drive.
Me
They never learn
either.
from the students. I mean, parents are not good teachers to their children.
So it may not be teaching, Patricia. It may just be painting, and and it'll manifest in some other way. But we don't want to say, oh, if this company doesn't appreciate me, then that's not it. Or if I don't make money with it, that's not it. There's people that house homeless animals for free, and that's their purpose. They're not getting any money from it. They're actually losing money from it. But that's their purpose.
Yeah, but they do have to have a different way of supporting themselves. So this is their hobby in a sense. And then, but it's ideally that you put all your energy to something that you love, and it happened to also give you money, because
ideally is the key word you put in there. Ideally, that's an expectation.
Why the universe wants you to do two things. It's almost like, why are you wasting energy to actually one way making your living and the other way actually having your purpose? That doesn't make sense to me. It's like, Poonam is saying that she wants to do full-time, the healing and the groups and the energy and the spirituality. Why does she have to be slaving into the workplace in America? Why can't she be just full-time?
That's a good question. I want to do retreats full-time. That's what I want to do full-time. Full-time, I want to do retreats for a living. Why am I not just doing that full-time?
So why can we all be Joe Dispenza?
In the conscious manifestation course, and quite a few talks of his, Eckhart has said it takes 10,000 hours of practice to become good at something. Actually, it's Malcolm Gladwell in a book called Outliers says that it takes 10,000 hours of practice,
How
right?
many years is that?
Look at the Beatles. How many small, so one of the examples Malcolm Gladwell gives is the Beatles. So how many small locations, small bars, small locations did the Beatles have to play before Beatles became like the big, whatever, like a named album and named group
So what
throughout
most
the country, right?
people just give up before they reach that level of.
They don't, and Eckhart in one of his talks said he used to have a neighbor or some woman living downstairs that was a
Mhm.
piano player, and she used to play the piano for 6 hours a day. Now she's like one of the best pianists in the world. 6 hours a day. You
But
paint
I'm
6
not gonna
hours a day.
do it. I'm not gonna do it into something that doesn't, strike me as something, my passion, right? I can do that time with something I'm passionate about, but not if I have to make a living something else, because I don't have time then to do that 10,000 hours into something that is my passion if I have to make a living.
But you have to make time for what you're passionate about. Like I make time for my group meditations. I make time to do my postings. I make time
It's
to
taking
respond to
you
people.
so long for the 10,000 hours.
That's fine. I can
Yeah.
spend my lifetime because it gives me joy. Exactly what April
Right.
said. It doesn't have to pay me.
Yeah, I mean, 10,000 hours is a number. It's not like, oh, you have to do 10,000 hours and that's it. And once you get there, bam, magic. It's not, you
It
don't get
just means
attached to things. You're getting attached to ideas and concepts. I make time to do these things. I work a full-time job. I have 100 children. I have a home. I also have to take care of my stepfather's home right now. But I squeeze it in.
something happened, April. She unplugged herself.
Yeah, so that's my point. If April just would do retreats,
But until that,
that she can make more money out of that than having to struggle with doing different
Patricia,
things.
the form is not ready. Until the form is not ready, the universe will not. Okay, I'll tell you something, how easy this is, right? So at the beginning of the year, remember we used to do workshops last year? At the beginning of the year, Dean Graziosi, in January or end of December, they decided that the mastermind platform, the brand builder where I used to create the workshops, will no longer be supported, right? They said no longer can you build courses
No,
under
you build
brand.
your workshop. Yeah, you build the
Okay, listen to me and understand what I'm saying. The brand builder platform was taken away beginning of January, right? So I went, okay, I started researching. So do you all realize that why did I not create any workshops? It is June and we still have not created workshops because the tool where I used to build a workshop is no longer available to me, right? This is January. So I go, okay, can I look at Kajabi? I looked at Kajabi. Kajabi is $200 a month, right? And I went, I don't want to spend $200 a month. If it is like about 90 or $100, I'd be okay spending $100 a month, but I don't want it to be $200 a month, right? So I wrote to the mastermind support team and I said, I can do $100 a month, but I don't want to sign up for Kajabi for $200 a month. So January goes by, this thing goes by. I'm not doing anything. I'm not doing any manifestation, right? The only thought I had is that I'm going to spend $90 to $100 a month. That's all I'm going to spend, right? If it's $99 or something, that's what I'm going to spend. Come April, May timeframe, Dean Graziosi announces this new product, right? And when they release this platform, you've done this event, right? The GHC Gamers Change, where you heard about the glasses, the prescription glasses. Did you attend their event last week
No,
or the week before?
No, I didn't. I signed up, but just I didn't actually have a chance to do
Just
it.
to see.
But it's
Okay,
very busy.
they announced a business system during that challenge. They announced a business system. Guess what they offered 2 days back? They offered the system for $97 per month.
My God. It's exactly what you asked for.
I did not do anything. I didn't call anybody. I didn't do nothing. Right? The only thought I had, I'm not going to spend $200 a month to create workshops. I let it go. I let the universe, exactly what Dr. Joe Dispenza said, right? In the Changing Boxes meditation, when he was teaching Changing Boxes. I don't know if you watched the live stream, the one that April was referring to. He did a live stream from Cancun on his 50th, when he did the 50th retreat. And in the live stream, he talked about, do you know what event she was referring to?
Yes.
Okay, that he needed to go to Phoenix to meet Barry Goldstein, who's his composer for all his meditation music. And he couldn't get a flight. He needed to be there by 12:30 or something, and he couldn't get a flight. And Kelly, his event organizer, said, no, there's not a flight available, right? So he just let it go. He did Changing Boxes 2 or 3 times in that day. He went to sleep. Next day, the airline company told him that his schedule has changed and he's going to arrive in Phoenix 2 hours early.
Yeah, it's those little things are incredible. I just don't know how to listen to the universe. I don't think I still am confused in the messages.
Okay, I think Mary Jean has joined. Mary Jean, did you want to share something? Thank you, Patricia.
Thank you.
You're on mute, Mary Jean, if you're saying something. Mary Jean, we cannot hear you.
I'm sorry I got late here. I looked at my clock and I thought it was 7 Mountain Time. So thank you for letting me join. Yes, I was sharing with you earlier. I saw Eckhart live last night on Monday night. So it was incredible, actually. This is the second time I saw him. First time was in Vancouver in 2009, and was a very small venue back then. So this was a large venue, and I remember back in 2009, a guest had attend. He said, "Where are you from?" And I said, "Edmonton." And he said, "Oh," and I said, "I don't know if Eckhart would ever come there." And we were talking about how different cities, perhaps, or countries, there's a different kind of energy, a consciousness prevalent, and with this fellow. And I said, I don't know, in my city, people, it's an oil patch town, and this was in 2009. Switch back to now, and I know Oprah came here once in the middle of winter and spoke, but it's unusual to have, I think, somebody of his caliber to speak here. So anyhow, when I got to the center here, wow, it was sold out. It was a large group here. And I mean, we are a large city, but this is the first time he spoke here. He's been to another city close by Calgary, Alberta. But I got there, and I hope you don't mind me speaking about this. I won't go on and on, but anyhow, the screen was there, and I was lucky. I had a seat at the back, but I was right in front of this large screen, and there was an Oilers final Stanley Cup hockey game. So the whole city was buzzing and so happy to see him. And I honest to goodness thought when he got on, because I was at a close screen, he said, we didn't think anybody would show up. And he had a spark, almost like I know he doesn't get emotional really, but he was so pleased. He had just like a little tear starting, I thought. But anyhow, and the whole night he talked about, you know, how the ego can form in groups like countries even, where we have you know, as in maybe a team, you know, everybody's rooting for the same team, but it's kind of ego based, my team. And he talked a lot about the ego. And it was interesting because the team lost, our team lost, and you could kind of almost feel it in the air after, but it was wonderful. A woman sat beside me, shared her sandwich. You know, it was kind of supper time. I didn't eat, and she just said, "Oh, would you like to?" And shared half of her pastry. I don't quite know. And then I talked to another friend, and she went alone, and she said, "We're talking about manifesting things," and I said, "Isn't it interesting how we manifest different things in our life?" And she said, "Yeah, I manifested a really nasty lady sitting beside me." She said she was really, and almost sounded like she had a strong pain body, but she sat beside her and she said she was really grouchy. I was so happy she left. And I thought, well, that's probably not typical of an Eckhart event, but who knows? But anyhow, a long story short, I shared earlier, so we left the event. Two other young gals, luckily I bumped into them that I know, who had parked at my friend's condo. And it actually down just a short ways away is a really nice district. But we decided to walk, you know, because they had parked at my friend's. And oh my goodness, we got attacked. It was so scary. This fellow came after all of this wonderful Eckhart, and, you know, we are walking, and then there's a busy hill like just by us. But anyhow, it wasn't isolated, but all of a sudden this guy came out of the bushes, and I remember speaking about, you know, the homeless guy, and he had a cart. Looked like he had metal rods in there. I couldn't see, but I could hear someone cursing, and oh my gosh, we went by. And he just like, "I'm going to kill you guys, girls, you," and he called us just names I won't repeat, but it was awful. And then he started chasing us. And I'm 72. Those gals that I knew were in their 30s. And but anyhow, luckily I bumped into them at the end because I would have been by myself. We ran and then climbed up on a steep. I ran so fast, like you know, at my age, I did good. I couldn't keep up to them, and then we ran out into the traffic, and I waved down, and he was a fairly famous musician guy that stopped, but we just about could have got run over. But that's how we lost him, climbing a hill. And then he was with his children, and we're all shaken though. Honestly, I shook more than when our car got hit. And then I was thinking afterwards, how did we manifest this? I agree. I think our energies, our vibration. It was crazy in the air though, because the whole city had lost the game, and there was a negative feeling. You know how that works. But anyhow, so I said a little note to Poonen, and she said, "Well, you know, I had alluded to being afraid of these people, you know, and I'm sure there was some way that this experience got attracted. It was such a contrast from Eckhart. So in the end, we were okay, but shaken, you know." And I spoke to another friend, and he said, "It's done, it's over, you know, don't talk about it," and all that, which is true. But I had to kind of process it. It was shocking to me. So that's my story. Can you hear me? Oops.
Yes, we
Oh,
can hear
yeah.
you, MJ. Thank you so much for sharing.
You're
Beautiful.
welcome.
That's incredibly amazing that you got to watch
Oh,
Eckhart. You know, 1 year he does the Canada tour, and another year he does the US tour.
yes.
Then another year he does Canada tour, and he goes to different cities in Canada, right? And
Yeah.
he does his talks. What
Okay.
I would say is generate, like, instead of whatever your area or your neighbors are talking about, the homelessness in your city,
Yeah.
turn yourself to seeing that person, and I think I said that before,
Yes.
into their beingness. And what I would say is you do something kind, like go get them a bottle of water, right?
Uh-huh.
Like if you see a homeless person, like
Yeah.
get the fear through action, right?
Yeah.
Instead of seeing them as somebody that's a drug addict, or they're
Uh-huh.
an alcohol addict, or they're addicted, right?
Yeah.
Look at their beingness and honor their beingness and do something for them. Like go
Mhm.
get a bottle of water and give them a bottle of water. Go stop at a gas station, get a bottle of water. It's summer, give them a bottle of water. Or go to McDonald's, buy a meal and give them a meal. It'll be like $2 for you, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
in that action, you are showing that you are no longer fearful of them, that
Uh-huh.
you are honoring the beingness of that person. The more
Mhm.
you repeat that action, the
Right.
more the fear will leave your body.
Mhm.
The manifestation is I'm positive somewhere in your subconscious you were
Yeah.
thinking, I'm going to this area, I'm going to downtown, and mostly every downtown area, whether it is your city or
Yeah.
Dallas,
Yeah.
no matter where, there's a lot of
Yeah.
homelessness, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
somewhere in your subconscious, you were like, oh, maybe I'd see a homeless person, right? I
Mhm.
don't know what this fear, right?
Yeah.
And that fear generates nothing. We are always co-creating our personal reality. Our personality is co-creating our personal reality. There's nothing else that is going on in this world. And Eckhart will say the same thing over and over again as well. That's what he may have alluded to, because he's been doing the conscious manifestation course. Even in that conscious manifestation course, he talks about the collective.
Yes. He talked about that too.
The collective energy is what
Yeah.
co-creates whatever is happening, right?
Yes.
So it
Yes.
is our collective energy of not seeing these human beings as human beings.
Yeah.
We shun them, right? Like we want to get away from them. It's like
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
like, I don't want that, right? Instead of that,
Yeah.
if you like, sometimes I reach out, sometimes I won't do it. Sometimes I reach out in my purse and whatever dollar bill, it may be a $20 bill, I'll pull it out and I'll give it to the person. But when I give it to the person, I look them in their eyes, honor their being. And most of the time they say, God bless you. I'll give
Yeah.
it to a homeless person. So
Oh yes, yes. There is one fellow that I had a deep conversation with actually, and he's always around, you know. And one day I felt called to give him $20, and I asked him if he could use that, and he said, "Oh, everybody can use that, but people really find him a nuisance, the businesses around here, because you know, but every once in a while I do. And generally, you know, honestly, Poonam, I'm not afraid. Most of them will not attack, honestly. They don't. Like, I mean, this fellow was very, very angry though. But still, you know, there was something, he came into my experience because of, you know, something in my, and you could be very, very right about that. So, I mean, that's a good idea, because it's becoming quite more prevalent, you know, here, as I think it is everywhere.
and
But we are part.
take your
Go ahead.
attention off that. Take your, where attention goes, energy flows.
Oh,
Stop
absolutely.
talking about, like your friend said, right? Stop
Yeah.
discussing it with your neighbors. Stop discussing with the homelessness of how much homelessness is increasing in your city. Stop discussing the topic.
Yeah.
You no longer need to
Yes.
discuss it's happening, it's happening. There's something in that city, that collective consciousness of that city, that's co-creating the
Yes, yes, I
homelessness,
believe
right?
that. Yeah, and
So,
having said that, that's interesting you said that. So I have several different friends. One lady's of a fellow, you know, a hypnotist guy, and different people, and live in maybe a little more upscale neighborhoods. And one lady alluded to, just close to my friends, that someone tried to snatch her baby, and I wouldn't have, you know, thought of that, but several people know her, and someone came along, and another one said they had a machete, and she's in a nicer neighborhood. So it is becoming, they are like, how do I put it? It's being more spread, you know, the whole thing.
But why
So
are you
I
hearing
believe it-
those stories? Why are you hearing those stories? Why are
because
you
you know
involving?
what's interesting how it came up I was out for
Don't
lunch.
discuss the topic. Don't discuss the topic. The moment
Yeah.
they start on homelessness, say, I would
Yeah.
not like to discuss that topic. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah. I
Because
came
you're
across,
imprinting into your energy that hatred towards homeless people by having
discussing it. Yes.
by
Yeah.
having these, whether they came with a machete, whether they came with a shotgun, whether they came with
Yeah.
whatever, it
Yeah.
does not matter. You are imprinting that experience over and over again on your soul, and that is co-creating experiences of them being there more and more. Take your
Right.
attention off of it. Take your
The
attention off of
attention,
it.
energy goes, yeah, where what to saying. I know Byron Katie always talked about how someone put a gun to her head, you know, and she said nobody would ever do that unless they were very confused, you know. And he just said, give me one reason why I shouldn't shoot you. And she looked him in the eyes and she said, honestly, I can't find a reason. And somehow her presence, being present with him, he did not do that, and he put the gun down, you know. And she wasn't afraid, though. I mean, you know, you're right about that part for sure, you know. So yeah, but I know that honestly, I feel like, you know, I'm on the right track most of the time, like with Eckerd and, you know, following you and different things here. So I know that I keep my vibration up pretty good that way, and like to think those thoughts. But it is something that has come into my experience that is a little new, and but thank you for the ideas. Thank you.
You're most welcome. I
Yeah.
know it's getting late. Patricia's almost about to fall off the chair. So
Oh,
eternally grateful to all
sorry.
of you. Many blessings. Thank you so much. Thank you for choosing your divinity over your humanity. This was beautiful. Have a good night.
Good night.
Much love. Bye.